was not honoring God because that was probably not what He had for me to do for the entire duration of my life. So it served its purpose. But when things come to an end in God's eyes, that's it. It done. It no further now go. Hi Peegees, welcome back to my corner. Well, at this point it's our corner, but okay. I'm Michaela, the girl on the journey to purpose, and I'm taking you along with me. Is it miracle? It's 12:55. 5 minutes to the hour of 1 a.m. See me here? I bid me after this. Fix up my hair for video. You can sleep. Okay. Right. I'm Michaela, the girl on the journey to purpose, and I'm taking you along with me this week to destination letting go. Inhale. Exhale. You'll be okay. Okay. Neck. Okay. Alright. So, if you can imagine you're on some tour in Jamaica. Okay. And your tour guide, you are on a, what's it called now? This thing that you, tightrope climbing. And in the middle of it, you're now over, rocks and stuff. In the middle of it, your tour guide says to you, there's a bear on the other end. And if you cross over to the other end, the bear is gonna eat you. Then he says to you, you have a built-in parachute in your vest that you're wearing. All you need to do is let go and pull the lever, and pull the string, and the parachute will open and you'll be okay. Which would you do? Would you go across to the bear? Or would you let go? Pull the string, parachute goes up. You're all over the place. Which one? Bear? Parachute? Bear? Parachute? Which one? Gonna give you 2 seconds. 1, 2. I'm gonna guess you went with letting go, right? More than likely because you weighed the options. You're like, bear, bite me up, I die. There's a chance if I let go, I might be okay. And so you went with letting go, right? Right, cool. We're gonna do the same. And so, on that foundation, we're gonna talk about letting go. Letting go of things, people if needs be. And when I say let go of people, I mean that show people that go to like me done with it. I mean whatever doesn't serve you. No, we have to bear in mind that this journey is my journey that I'm sharing in hopes that something that happened or whatever happened with me helps you. So I'm not necessarily on here to tell you this is what you have to do. I'm telling you this is what I did based on what I experienced. And you, if it resonates with you, then you can also think of possibly doing the same, right? So I have had to let go of some things. Some easy, some not so easy, but over the last few years, I've had to let go of a few things. A lot of things actually, but I'll talk about a few of them in this video. Some of these were commanded by God, some I'll say optional, because there are things that God will put in front of you. You can choose not to do them, but they have outcomes that, So some were commanded, some, I guess I would have to decide, do you want life or do you want the opposite? Not necessarily physically, but okay. Some were no-brainers to God, like, girl, need to get rid of this. You need to get rid of this. And you can tell because you feel strongly when the Lord is convicting you about certain things. And conviction brings about change. It should bring about change. Conviction brings about change. So for me, some of the no-brainers to God were the hardest for me. For example, job, business. And then there were others that just came with the journey. Over time, when you find what you're supposed to do, when you find where you're supposed to go, the opposite of that automatically just falls off. If you learn to love, you hate less. You get what I'm saying? Some of the things I've had to let go of would be limiting beliefs. And that's limiting beliefs from my own mindset and thoughts, whether they were acquired, whether I saw them somehow, I grew up on them, whatever it was, I had to let go of those. I have had to let go of people's opinions, and that could also be where some of the limiting beliefs came from. You know how, I'm gonna go to probably the extreme in this one. You know how a parent may tell a child, not my parents, okay. You know how a parent may tell a child, you worthless like your papa, you worthless like your mother, or you not come out to nothing good. You don't, but certain names that we call, not we, certain names that they may call them, or titles that they may give them. And it's usually said in such a way where it is believable by the child and probably anybody else who hear it. Those things don't really just go away. They don't just poof and leave the child's brain, especially if you keep saying over and over, this is who you are, this is what you become. It tends to take root, and so limiting beliefs can come from that. So that's just an example. So for me, I've had to let go of people's opinion of how I should be, what I should do at a certain age, what I should achieve at a certain age, the one that probably everybody ever hear. So what you do with your life now? So what you do for yourself now? Where you work? You married? You have kids?
Pick somebody else.
If you're not firm in who you are and what you want, pressure. That applies pressure to you. I wasn't really someone who got, how do I put this now? So it's not that I just don't hear what you say, I hear what you say. And for a second it might be like, but I have a little bit of rebellion in me where if you say left, I want to go right. So sometimes my response would come out from rebellion and be gone. But for some it's not that easy, right? And so you put pressure on people to be this, to be that by this time. Why you not have this by this time? Yeah, we have to let go of that. And we, meaning the people who put the pressure on people, stop it. And the persons who receive the pressure, it's not your reality. Okay? And also limiting beliefs, if I go back to limiting beliefs, it could also stem from trauma. Trauma kind of reshapes your brain. It rewires your brain and tells you things that you are not. It tells you to believe what you see or what you have experienced. And that in itself takes work. You don't just get up on and say, I let go of this is gone. Okay. Where are we now? Number 3. Guilt, shame, and regret. 3 and 3. All 3, 1. When you get to a certain point where you start to assess your life and see, you start thinking, if this was possible all along, then why didn't I tap into it? If this is really who I am, then who was I living as? Your mind will take you to places, understandably. where you start thinking, why did I do that? What kind of a fool decision that me make? How me did end up wherever? How me end up at this? You start asking lots of hows, whys, and before you know it, you're in a state of deep regret, sadness as a result, and it will plague your mind over and over, and also bring you back to limiting beliefs. Because now you're starting to think, then if me did have sense, why me do that? Maybe me not have sense too. Maybe me an idiot. Maybe me always so and so say. People's opinions start popping in, and you're now back at, you know what? Maybe so and so. Because I've made decisions in my life, choices, where I'm looking around, I'm like, really? But I've had to let go of that. And I will say it a second, it's not like it just, I let go. Remember, we are coming from different destinations. So over time, you'd realize that this is a work in progress, right? So I've had to let go of that. And we're at number 4. So number 4, I have to add my job. I've had to let go of my job. And in the previous video, I told you how my worth was rooted in my job. So letting go of that would mean that I am now of no value, of no worth. I have nothing to show for my life. The job was it. So letting go of that was one of the things that was hard, but also commanded, or probably not commanded, but I knew it was necessary. It was like, you need to do this because God said so. So even if I didn't embrace it fully, like, I knew I had to, because, okay. And my business too, because they both kind of intertwine in terms of what they brought to me and what they provided for me, right? So my job, my business, that's number 4. Number 5, my need for control, my need to fix everything, my need to see to it that everything is going right. Because what that did was, it caused me to have poor stewardship of the things that God entrusted in my care. It caused me to be honest, disrespect the sovereignty of God. Because if I'm trying to do things how I think they should be done, it's like me saying, God, your control not really work for me. So let me deal with this myself. You not do this right. Me can do this better. It also resulted in passive ungratefulness. What do I mean by that? Because I was doing things my way. I was ensuring that things worked out. I was the one like, okay, this is wrong, let me fix it. Okay, this needs to go, let me do it. It would mean that even though I'm saying I'm grateful, I would be grateful to me, because I, in my head, in my mind, I fixed it. I fixed this thing that was wrong. I worked on this thing that was not going how it should go. So, oh, thank God that such and such. I was thanking me because I was the one fixing it. And I'm saying that because I know that in saying it, if I never even saw God's hand in it, if I never thought that it was being done right and I was doing it myself, technically I was being ungrateful. Because if I don't acknowledge who is at work, who am I being grateful to? So that's why I use the term passive. It's not like I was actively trying to be ungrateful, but that's what eventually happened. Because I was doing it myself. I was the one who should be thanked. I was grateful to me, ungrateful to God. And I'm saying it now, and it sounds as bad as it sounds to you. It sounds that way to me. And of course, if I'm doing things my way, it's gonna result in disobedience. God says, Michaela, leave your job. And I am now working things out how I think it should work out for everything to flow. So even if I hear him say, take up a pen, no, I'm not taking up the pen. Because that's not how I see this thing working out. I have to take up a pencil because it's a pencil I need. So my need for control resulted in poor stewardship of the things he entrusted me with, disobedience, passive ungratefulness, and blatant disregard and disrespect for God's sovereignty. Not intentional, but that's the end result either way. As I said before, some of them would have been automatic. The more of one thing you do, the more gratitude you show, the less ungrateful you are. So a lot of things were automatic. A lot of things were, I had to build on them over time. And some are still work in progress. Some are still work in progress. Every day I have to actively decide this over this. The more you embrace one thing, the less you hold on to its opposite. So letting go sometimes work out easier than other times. Some you have to work on it. And it's going to take time for some of the things that you have to let go of. Especially if it's people or relationships. It's not going to be as easy to build up something over the years and then wrap. Okay. The more I embraced my journey and my seasons, the less of the regret I felt. Once you understand that your life has times and seasons and God ordains that, what are you going to regret? Oh, I did this that time and I shouldn't have done it and it took me too long to get to here. But God got me here. And so if in 2019 he could say, he could have done it from 2016. So for whatever reason he waited until 2019, he is God. He is in charge. So once I leaned into the now, a lot of things changed. And they changed for the better. So how do you know that you should let go? Why should you let go? Well, that kind of answered to an extent. Knowing why you should let go and how you let go. So when you know why you should let go, it's easier for you to let go. For example, bear, parachute, let go. You know, go for this and the bear mode, so obviously you have to let go. Not as easy as it sounds, but your why helps to direct you closer to the letting go. So here are my 4 reasons on knowing when you should let go and how that helps you to let go. I hope we can cover this properly. Number 1, the situation is causing you more harm than good. And that probably is like self-explanatory. Isn't it? It kind of is, right? If it's causing you more harm than good, the obvious choice is to let go. The problem is sometimes we don't know that it's causing more harm than good. I was living a life that I thought was the life. How would I let go of that life when I didn't even know that I was living that life? But the minute I knew I was living that life, then I had to, to the right. So it's knowing that it's causing harm that would cause you to let go. So you have to know that it's causing you harm, and sometimes we do know. And if your life is not looking right or feeling right, or you don't feel safe, you don't feel okay, it's on the side of harm. And harm isn't necessarily harm. Just, it's not good. It's bad. So when it's causing you more harm than good, it's time to let go. You don't know that it's causing you more harm than good. I don't know if you tell you what I want because I never know if it's true. Some life did I go around me and then God. Well, listen. Since we're on this journey together, I can tell you, you can actively check your life. Like, is my life looking how I want it to look? Am I feeling okay? Am I feeling safe? Am I feeling fulfilled? And not just fulfilled, but fulfilled in God. Am I doing the thing, you know? And you know where this is going. Ask Him. Ask the Lord, Lord, am I doing the do? Am I living how you want me to live? Am I okay? Is my life bringing more harm than good? What do I do? Okay. And chances are you know if your life is, Sometimes you have a feeling, sometimes you have a knowing, sometimes you hear it, but you push it aside because I don't think so. Number 2, the second reason that you should let go is it's not your purpose or assignment. And that's probably why it's causing you harm. From number 1, it's not your purpose or your assignment. And just like number 1, you may know because you're not feeling like you are walking in purpose. Sometimes feelings can deceive you, but it's like it's a knowing thing. You just know, say, this is not what I am called to do. This is not fulfilling God's purpose on my life. Again, ask Him. I have nothing else to give because nothing else worked for me except He told me when He pulled me aside. I started asking questions. He showed up. At the same God, I'm going to show up for you. Okay. Number 2,
He needs some milk.
reason number 3, it does not honor God or bring Him glory. So I'll speak on 2 and 3 together. Not your purpose or assignment does not bring God honor or glory. In my case, so while my job was rewarding, I'm working, I'm adulting and I'm doing the thing, and while it made me feel good, that I could whatever, and I was getting paid and I could live from that job and I could do whatever passion projects I had to do, it was fulfilling on one end but not on the other. It was not honoring God because I was not stewarding it well. It was not honoring God because that was probably not what He had for me to do for the entire duration of my life. So it served its purpose. But when things come to an ending in God's eyes, that's it. It's done. No further now go. Was it bringing God glory? It wasn't because I wasn't. You get what I said? Meaning, 1, Michaela never did a season and shine at work. Right? And the other thing that I could use to bring God glory was what I was earning from that job. Same thing for business. I wasn't even, at one point, me never did I even give because my money gets so tied up in this and that. No. Oh, I'll give next week. Oh, I'll do this. Next week never come because there's always going to be something. Or let me just use this week and then next month we double up. No. So it wasn't honoring God or bringing Him glory from my end or from the things that I got from the job. Same for the business. I thought that because I had this gift from Him, if I use it, that's bringing glory. No. And this is personal. He told me this. What you're doing is not bringing me any glory, Michaela. You are using the gift, but it's not bringing me any glory. You didn't even give me the money of that because you're just a focus on bills. Please note I said give God the money. Give God the money from it. Why bills they high this month, make me? Bills they high this month. Let me just, when things get better, then make God excuse. Who giving you the thing that you're doing now to even get to the point of talking about getting better? Your back burner, God? I say your honor, God? All these realizations are afterthoughts. This never did happen while it happened. My reasoning was, listen, things hard, God understand. That line will get a lot of us in trouble. The Lord understands. He does. So do you. Know better, do better. And my final reason, because God said so. We won't always have the big long explanation. Michaela, take up that book, because when you take up that book, better yet, Michaela, don't go over that side, because when you go over the other side, a bear is over there and the bear is gonna bite you. In fact, the bear is gonna take off 10 of your fingers, 5 of your toes, 10 of your fingers, no 10 fingers, you say like you have 15. The bear is gonna take off your fingers, take off your toes. That's it. So you have to now let go of this thing, because if you don't do that, the bear, you know, always get explanations. Sometimes you don't get it right away, sometimes you don't get it at all. Because there's also the trust and faith factor. God said to you, do this thing. Well, I'm not sure why I do it, so I'm not do it. Abraham, take thy son, thine only son, can go offer him as a sacrifice to me. Abraham get up the morning, saddle up in donkey them, and him merry way. Abraham even did show him I go at first. He said to a place, I will show you. Up here, so I'm going to tell you which part up here, so when you got there. Noah was told to build the ark, but he was also told that a flood would come. It not gonna always be, I have a story and I have an explanation, so here we go. No. Okay? No, here is your grain of salt. Okay? And this is gonna be like questions for you to just sit with. I'll be reading them because you're young, but when you're that young, okay. Your grain of salt is, who are you? Why are you here? What gifts, talents, resources, anything that you have that you can tap into that can be used to serve the kingdom's agenda for God? That could be serving people, business, anything, every single day to bring God glory. Take a moment to truly assess your life, like how you're living. Are you happy? Is your life purposeful? Are you glorifying God with your life? Any part of your life? And not just saying, oh, I'm bringing God glory. Not just saying it, but like actually bringing Him glory. Assess your life, ask those questions, and compare that to how you should be living. Or how you, before any form of issues, desire to live. You know, happy life, whatever the innocent you had planned. You know how I always said, I want to be a this and that before I even knew that things could arise to cause me to not want to be a this or that. Are you living as a kingdom citizen, as the royalty that you are, shining as the light that you're supposed to shine as? Is it looking like it should? Is your life looking like it should? That right? Is your life looking like it should? Is your life looking the way it should? Is your life looking the way it should? Are there things you need to let go of so that God can start a work in you? The first thing I let go of was my job. That freed me up, but my mind never free up yet. So we had to go to that next. What is it that you need to let go of so you can truly grow in purpose, in who you really are? How can you grow in God? Because once you're able to grow in Him, you can serve how you should and be purposeful. And your ray of light is, I know it's easier said than done. This is coming from the previous grain of salt. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I do. But that's where your communication with the Lord takes place. I want to know me advocate for this, right? Because I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing that you could just say, Lord, so and so, and He answers. And I want everybody to experience that, because that changes everything. So even if this is where you start, if you're watching for the first time, you maybe don't want to go back and watch the rest, which you probably should. But reason it out. Ask Him. Having discovered how to discover my identity, you can too. Yeah. And my purpose on this earth, my purpose in the Lord, and the different ways I can walk in that. Whenever I drop off by itself, I did have to pick them off like pigs. I had to pray about them, journal about them, sing worship song about them. Anything that worked. Anything that worked and would be right in the sight of the Lord. Okay? Because you won't always have days where you feel like praying. You will have days when you can pray. Sometimes all you can do is write. And when I say write, I mean write. Just how you feel. Sometimes you have to just put on a playlist and worship and praise. And then there are days when you can articulate enough to say, Lord, such and such and such, whatever it is that you need to do. Do ye. Just reason with God. Seek Him for advice, information, direction, and strategy as to how you can not just figure out what needs to go. And sometimes you would already know, you feel it, but the problem is when you're supposed to let it go. Ask Him for strategy. How do I do this? It's gonna hurt, yes, but how do I do it still? And know that you'll be okay on the other end. Because wanting to let go is one thing, but actually letting go is the other. And that is what is important, letting go. As I said before, some things I've let go of completely. Some are work in progress, some I don't necessarily want to let go of. But yeah, it's necessary and it's possible. And you're better for it in the end. Trust me. Every day I choose to actively seek to let go. Anything on any given day. Because I can let go of 3 things yesterday, but there are 2 things today that popped up that I have to now figure out, how do I get past this? Yeah? Let go and let God is not just a saying that we are supposed to passively use. But you really need to let go, like actively let go of whatever it is. And let God. He knows every single thing about your life, end from beginning. So He knows how to orchestrate it to work. and work for your good. I have a post on my blog called Losing Control. That was probably when I started to realize that, Kayla, you're still trying to control things. You have not let go of some things, and you're not giving control to God. Let it go. Okay? Michaela, not you. Like, to you, let it go, Peegee. Right. Thanks so much for coming along, Peegees. I appreciate you. You know this, right? And to the members of the PGJSCA, right? Thank you for always coming with me in the journey streets and not leaving me out here by myself. Always just keeping me, giving me company out here. Thank you. As usual, mark your seats for the next one. Here's your to-do list. Okay. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe. So mark your seats. See you in the next video. Cool. Let's go.